Okay. So today we are going to be discussing this question. Are cognitive and psychological factors important to an entrepreneur when managing the employees? What are some of the psychological disciplines an employer should consider and why?
Employers should consider various psychological disciplines to create a positive and productive work environment. For example, the first one should be organizational psychology. So organizational psychology focuses on understanding behavior within workplace settings. Employers can utilize insights from this discipline to improve employee morale, enhance teamwork, and optimize organizational structure and culture. Also, industrial organizational psychology is really important because industrial organizational psychology applies psychological principles to improve workplace productivity and employee satisfaction. Employers can benefit from this discipline by implementing strategies to enhance job satisfaction, reduce turnover, and develop effective leadership practices.
I completely agree because some of the main problems employees might be facing at their job is low mental health and also, for example, when they're not happy with what they're doing at their job, their productivity is obviously going to be low because whatever is happening in their brain and with their hormones and everything interacting is going to directly affect their thoughts and emotions that they're facing at work. And do you think that it is important for employers to care about how their workers feel?
Yes, Amina, I think it's crucial for employers to care about how their workers feel. Employee well-being directly impacts productivity, job satisfaction, and overall organizational success. I think when employees feel valued, supported, and respected by their employers, they're more likely to be engaged, motivated, and committed to their work. Caring about employees' feelings also fosters a positive work culture, improves morale, and reduces turnover rates.
I agree. So the next question is for us to discuss why turnover rates in different industries, especially low-paying or stressful ones, are so high.
So, turnover rates in various industries, especially low-paying or stressful ones, are often high due to a combination of factors. First of all, I think low pay plays a big role in this. In industries where wages are relatively low, employees may feel undervalued and may seek higher paying opportunities elsewhere. This is particularly true in sectors such as retail, hospitality, etc. Also, limited advancement opportunities plays a huge role. So, for example, in some industries, particularly those with hierarchical structures or limited room for growth, employees may feel stagnant in their careers. Without opportunities for advancement or professional development, workers may be more inclined to leave in search of better prospects elsewhere. And also, I think high stress levels are important as industries that are inherently stressful, such as healthcare, customer service, emergency services, often experience high turnover rates. Constant pressure, long hours, and exposure to traumatic situations can lead to burnout and desire to seek less demanding roles, in my opinion.
I agree. And when explaining it from a neuroscience perspective, there are three main things we need to consider: stress response, reward pathways, and neuroplasticity. When explaining stress response, we have to recognize that high stress environments trigger the release of cortisol, impacting cognitive function and decision making. Over time, chronic stress can lead to burnout, reducing motivation and engagement, as you said, and increasing turnover, as well as reward pathways. Low-paying jobs may not sufficiently activate the brain's reward pathways, diminishing the job satisfaction and motivation, and that is why people leave jobs. Neuroplasticity. Continuous exposure to repetitive or monotonous tasks can limit neuroplasticity, reducing cognitive flexibility and adaptability. This can lead to feelings of stagnation and dissatisfaction, contributing to turnover.
Yes, I totally agree, Nina.
So how do you think turnover affects the processes going around in businesses?
Yes, I think turnover can significantly impact the success of businesses in several ways. For example, costs. High turnover rates incur direct and indirect costs for businesses. Direct costs include expenses related to recruiting, hiring, and training new employees, for example. Indirect costs include decreased productivity during the transition period, as well as the potential loss of institutional knowledge and expertise. Also, I think customer satisfaction plays a huge role in this, as employee turnover can impact customer satisfaction levels. Frequent turnover may result in inconsistencies in service quality, longer wait times, and decreased customer loyalty. Satisfied and experienced employees are better equipped to meet customer needs and build long-term relationships, which is essential for businesses. And also, I think this is the most most expected one is reputation. High turnover rates can damage a company's reputation as an employer. Businesses with a reputation for high turnover may struggle to attract and retain top talent, leading to further recruitment challenges. Negative reviews and word of mouth can deter potential candidates from applying to open positions. So yeah, I think it's quite important.
Definitely. So the next topic we are going to talk about is what are some tactics some of the employers use to manipulate their employees and how do they work?
While most employers strive to create a positive work environment, some may engage in manipulative tactics to control or exploit their employees. For example, gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where employers deny, distort, or trivialize their employees' experiences or concerns to make them doubt their perceptions or sanity. For example, an employer might dismiss legitimate grievances or concerns raised by employees, leading them to question their own judgment and credibility. Also, emotional manipulation. Employers may use emotional manipulation tactics such as guilt tripping, manipulation of emotions, or playing favorites to exert influence and control over their employees. For example, an employer might use emotional blackmail to coerce employees into working longer hours or accepting unfavorable conditions. And, of course, false promises. Employers may make false promises or commitments to manipulate employees into accepting unfavorable conditions or working harder. For example, an employer might promise promotions, salary increases, or career advancement opportunities that never materialize, leading to feelings of disillusionment and betrayal among employees.
I definitely agree. And if we're speaking from a neuroscience perspective, there are many techniques and tactics that they use, and some of which you've already explained in an economic context. So first one is emotional manipulation. Employers may use emotional appeals to manipulate employees, such as guilt tripping or using fear tactics to coerce compliance, as you've already mentioned. And this works by activating the brain's emotional centers, which can override rational decision-making processes and lead to compliance out of fear or obligation. There's also reward manipulation. It taps into the brain's reward system, specifically the dopamine pathway, reinforcing certain behaviors and increasing motivation to achieve desired outcomes, even though perhaps for these employees, the outcomes that think they want to achieve are actually only in the interest of the employer. The next one is information control. By controlling the flow of information, employers shape the narrative and guide employees toward desiring actions or beliefs, exploiting cognitive biases such as confirmation bias. This is when employees actually just believe whatever information that the employer gives them, and they act based on this information. And the last one is social influence. Employers may leverage social dynamics within the workplace to manipulate employee behavior, such as using peer pressure or social comparison to encourage conformity. This works by activating the brain's social processing regions, increasing the likelihood of compliance to fit in or gain approval from peers or authority figures. These tactics can be effective in influencing employee behavior in the short term, but may have negative long-term consequences, including erosion of trust, decreased job satisfaction, and increased turnover. It's essential for employers to prioritize ethical and transparent communication and foster a supportive and empowering work environment to promote employee well-being and organizational success. So overall, do you agree that the mental health and the mental state and emotional response of employees to what the employers do to them are important in the success of the business?
Yes, Amina, I think it's really important because, if you look at a business perspective, if the employees are happy and they're not bored of their workforce or workplace, then they actually work faster. This will create more output for the businesses and as a result, more profit. So I think it really matters because if you look at it, the workers have the most important influence on the businesses.
Thank you for this talk, Aisulu. So in this podcast, it was Aisulu, an economics expert from OMExNeura, and Amina, a neuroscience expert from the Neuro Society. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.